some people came in late. Does anybody, this is your last opportunity to come up and sign the sign-up sheet for whoever wants to speak at the public hearing for the budget? Please come up and sign.
Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion in this support of Cameron Martin's Eagle Scout project and to have a resolution created for our next council meeting so all the council members can sign that unanimously support young Mr. Martin's efforts on this project. That's a motion.
Motion made a second. Made a second. Discussion? Roll call.
Mrs. Bartolome?
Yes.
Mr. McGee?
Yes.
Mrs. O'Hara?
Yes.
Mr. Zelinski?
Yes.
Mr. Biragad?
Yes. Moving on, public hearing for the 2018-2019 budget. I have to just set a couple of quick rules on this because we have a lot of people that want to talk. I'm going to have to limit everybody to 3 minutes. I think that's enough. Well, hopefully that's enough time for you to say what you need to say. So we're going to begin with Mr. Tony Soley, please.
Tony Soley, 1435 Iron Hill Road. I'm here tonight to talk about budget. You know, I've seen a lot of numbers floating around for the schools, 4%, 2%, 1.89%, somewhere around there for Gary. I'm a sports guy. I'm in and out of a lot of schools. Our current school administration, current school committee, and current town administration has done a phenomenal job getting these buildings looking back in better shape. High school's the best it's looked in years. That's done through collaboration between the groups as well as money. Money needs to be there. I know as a realist that 4% is a tough ask. And I won't sit up here asking for the 4%, but I do ask for the 3% that the school committee is looking to get. I think that the facilities need to continue to be upgraded. The programs, we need to offer them. It's not about the 4 walls we're sitting in between. It's about the value of the education within those 4 walls. I'd be the first one to sit up here and tell you that, you know, if you wanted to build a field house with a track and all this other fun stuff inside of it, I could support that, but I know it's not going to happen. It would never happen. But we need to keep the buildings we have in better shape than they're in. And we need to provide the education that our students need. It's not about striving to maintain, it's about striving to achieve and be the best that we can have for our community. I hear a lot of people talk about, you know, how many people this affects. When you think about it, the school department roughly has 1,200 students. A conservative estimate with parents, siblings, these buildings touch about 3,000 residents a day, 5 days a week. Probably aside from Public Works, this department is the department that touches the most residents per day out of the whole community. You call the police and fire, if you need the police and fire, they're there waiting for you. But these buildings are used every single day by the most residents of this town. That being said, I ask that you humbly consider giving the schools up to their 3% ask. Like I said, I know 4% just isn't financially doable, but I think that we can make it work, and our students deserve it. Thank you.
James Lombardi.
Mr. President, I may go over the 3-minute mark. Is that okay?
Mr. Chairman, of the school committee.
Thank you. Mr. President, members of the Honorable Council, Town Administrator, and Budget Committee. I'm here today to let you know how well the school is doing. This will be an open and transparent process, and please feel free to ask me any questions at any time after this event, after this hearing, whenever you'd like. We are open and transparent. There's a lot of numbers going around, and there's a lot of misinformation, but I'll answer any question. If you're driven by the high school, you will see great improvements. I see the groundskeeper around cutting grass, trimming trees, planting flowers. I see the children win competitions and awards. Our high school was ranked number 4 by News and World Report in the state. We have great people working in North Smithfield. I will say all of these things were done with help from you by properly funding us last year, working with us to help with capital improvements. What you may not know is that we also look at the health of a building. We did tests we had some complaints about the elementary school, and whatever those issues were, we fixed them. We update security, and we continue to update security. And we thank you, the town administrator, for funding 2 safety resource officers. I know there's a bill at the State House, I don't know if it's passed or not, where the state would actually refund us 50% of that, which I think is a great thing. We've been efficient in the school department by reorganizing and downsizing, even with the growing population. We thank the constituents for passing the bond and can tell you that we hope to begin construction in the summer, and we did it at a 5% higher reimbursement rate. So when we put it out to the voters, we thought it was going to be approximately 31, it's about 36. That's a $200,000 savings. Now, how did we do that? We prepared and still prepare to have variety projects ready to go. So if there's funding available, we have it in the pipeline. It's my understanding that the school committee has not done that in the past. But we have concerns, and many of the complaints I receive is more about programs. We have used our surplus to fund the labs and locker rooms, but the high school will need, over the next few years, windows, roof, and a new turf field. We have no foreign language in our middle schools. We have the largest kindergarten classes in the state. We have special education costs that are outpacing what the taxpayers are willing or even can afford to spend. Our preparation for children needs work in people who do not go to college. We need some life skills classes. Many of us moved to this town for the educational system. The unknown benefit is living with some of the greatest people that we have met. Many of us ran for the school committee to make changes, and many of you ran to make changes. I, and I'll even say we, ran for office to do the best to make sure the school system is the best it can be, understanding that we're in a conservative town. The question is, are we going to continue to send the schools in the proper direction or move back? I am proud of what the school committee has done since the last election. We don't just talk about issues, we take action. And you will see construction begin on a wing on the elementary school, and this will be the last year for Hallowell. I'd like to let you know that at the next meeting, I'm proud, and although it has not been voted on by the school committee or the membership, we will send you a teacher's contract at the next meeting. The negotiations didn't go well at first because we had to convince the union negotiating team that we do not have the funds to give them what they wanted, or even close. I want to compliment the teachers for being reasonable and a great partner to this school district. We truly have some of the best teachers in the state. And not only teachers, but administrators and support staff. The maintenance department has done an outstanding job. This is truly a partnership. So, what do we need? To be honest with you, we probably need a 10% increase and a $30 million bond. That's just not practical or reasonable. We are asking tonight for 4%. I understand this is a large amount to ask, and I am aware of the tax issues in town. And I understand some of the tax issues in town, as I wrote about it in my report to the Council on Abatements. We knew this was coming. But during those years of prosperity, the school department was ignored. We did not get additional funding for a whole number of years. We did not do capital projects. We did not do much. And now we're paying for it. You know, right now, you're handed the bill for the past mistakes. And I'm sorry, you know, you have a depreciable asset, and automatically, just to stay level, you're going to have to raise taxes to stay level. So I'll get to a specific number in a few minutes, but does anybody have any questions?
I have a question.
Sure.
How many years were you level funded?
Either Peg or Lisa. I don't want to say the wrong number. This is from the town, let me be very specific.
Executive?
What year?
Okay, so how did we get here? So last year, we came to you, we asked for some additional funds. You honored the request. Well, how did we get here from last year to this year? First, salaries increased or will increase $451,000. Benefits will increase $267,000. Charter school tuitions will increase $101,000. A special education out-of-district placement is projected to increase $91,000. So this is without adding any programs or anything else. These are the increases we have to deal with. So I know that I asked, and we'll explain to you, and I'll put this in writing if you'd like, I mean, anything you need. Well, what happened from the time you submitted the budget? There were clearly some savings in the budget that you found, $121,000 ride, and some other savings on health care. So what happened? So just to get to the budget that we submitted to you, which includes the 4% increase, we had to cut a special education teacher out of Hallowell. Now, I can tell you that state law is going to require us to put that back in, or I believe we have since. We cut back on a librarian, a music teacher, physical education teacher, cut a reading specialist. We cut a custodian in facilities. We cut 2 instructional assistants. Now, obviously, as I mentioned, we do have some savings. We had some savings in projected health insurance premiums of $92,000. We had some savings from dental insurance premiums of $17,000. So what do? We added back the reading specialist. We added back the special education teacher. Since then, additional expenses have come up. Special education has increased. So where am I going with this? Let me try to get to it. We're asking for an additional $347,165. I wouldn't ask for something if I didn't think it was absolutely necessary. I think we can do this more or less without raising taxes. We would have to reduce the contingency account by some amount. I committed last year that if we ran a surplus, I would use that for capital improvements, and I was just notified by the superintendent, although we were running a deficit, we found another $69,000 in Medicare reimbursement, which will bring us back. So we'll probably run a $50,000 surplus. So what I would ask is that the capital amount that you are offering us be reduced by $50,000. I think we can make that up. So now we're $300,000. We have a $300,000 difference. Whatever you can do to get us there, I would appreciate. And I just, you know, I don't want to, and I appreciate all this time that you're giving me. I just want to read some of the things that, I did send everyone a list of our annual report highlights, and I do have copies of it. But these are great things that our kids, teachers, staff are doing. North Smithfield High School was given the highest commended school rated by the Rhode Island Department of Education. North Smithfield High School students ranked number 3 in the state on the New England Common Assessment in Science. North Smithfield High School was one of 3 Rhode Island high schools chosen as a National Banner Unified Champion School by Special Olympics International for meeting the 10 standards of excellence in commitment to inclusion. The North Smithfield High School Jazz Band took first place at Berkeley College of Music Jazz Festival. And this goes across the board. I'm not going to read it. It's probably 50 things here, or 60 or 100. And it goes across about all the great things we were doing. Thank you very much for your time. Anybody have any questions?
Any other questions, Jim? Could I play the devil's advocate?
Sure.
The years that you were level funded,
Yes.
you had surplus.
Correct.
So it's not really fair to say that those years kind of hurt. If you had surplus, then it's not really fair to say that those years hurt you, that you make it up for those years if you had surplus for the year when you were level funded, right?
So what happened is we weren't doing capital improvements. We were running surpluses. I'm going to say unofficially. One of the reasons that we were running surpluses is that there was an anomaly of teachers who were out. So there was a large number of teachers, and so that those salaries were saved. So, and then we were hiring the temp teachers or whatever it is, substitutes. Thank you. And so there were some anomalies in there. Those anomalies caught up to us and then overtook us, to be honest with you. So we did have surpluses. We are using them for the labs and the locker rooms, which have been talked about for the last, I'd say, 100 years. It's a joke. But we're getting things done. Thank you.
Please.
I don't know if you know, but I've been in this system. I just recently left since about 1979. Some of you weren't born. That's okay. Money in the past for improvements were not used. Then the department, head of maintenance, etc., would give it back and get a nice little, look at that, they have a surplus. Well, of course, if you don't do the work, all the work, you're going to have something left over. And this has been, I've seen that change since about 1980, I'd say 1984, when they cut back on surfaces and cut back, and the grounds were going under and the inside of the classes. general maintenance was not